What's going on, cryptocurrency universe? It's the Bitcoin miner here, guys. I hope everybody's doing well. Well, yeah, the mold's growing in here. As you can see, it's starting to get bad and bad quick. Oh boy. Yeah, it's been a good rig, but it's been 3 years. I've just added some cryo fuel to it 3 or 4 times. And really hadn't had too many problems. I've blown out the radiator maybe a couple of times. You can see that it does build up and get thick in certain areas. We're about to pull all this out. But I do run a filter, and the filter is well worth it. It's nothing, just a household filter, cut down and pleat it so it has the support, and just kind of cut around the wires and wrapped. So it helps to keep your rig pretty clean, as you guys can tell. But we're going to definitely have to get a lot of stuff done in here in order to change this. I'm not convinced just vinegar is going to clean these lines. So I've got some backup lines right over here, and basically everything I need to replace it, clean it, and hopefully get this guy back up and mining some more Verus. We got some mega blocks coming, guys. The Ethereum bridge is, by the time you see this video, just launching or has just launched. When those things happen, actually, whenever time there's a blockchain or a bridge, the block fees will shoot up to 50 Verus. So definitely want to get this bad boy up and running as fast as possible. Yeah, so let's get taking this guy apart and try to get the mold out of this. Stay with me, guys, as I start this fun journey of cleaning the mold. All right, after pondering for a little while, I think my best bet, or the easiest way to drain this, is to turn this guy upside down since I'm outside and just go ahead and let it pump itself out. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do. Now, the way I'm not going to turn it on the board or the CPU or any of that. As you can see, I'm just using a jumper. It's the nice easy jumper that comes with the T2s. If not, you can always jump the pins. Look up the pin numbers. I don't remember exactly off the top of my head. So we're going to try and see if I can just pump the water out of here and work on flushing it that way, which is going to be the easiest way. So stay tuned, guys. Let's see how this goes. Not so lucky. It helped me in some sense, but as you can tell, there's still bubbles and fluid in here. And that is because the pump ran out of liquids, and with no liquids, it's not going to move any fluids. So I need to find a way to feed fresh water to that pump and let it run through a cycle somehow. And I think that's going to be detaching the reservoir and sticking the tubes in something. Let me dabble a little bit, and I'll get back to you guys how I accomplish it. So when I designed this rig 3 years ago almost, I did it in a way that the liquid cooling system was somewhat independent, and that it can be removed as a separate entity, so I don't have to worry about any fluids or water inside of this case. So that way, in case this day ever arrived, it would not be too difficult to pull out the radiator to disconnect this. So all I have to do now is unscrew that and pull out the pump, which is right over here. May need to take out the 4 screws on the sides, not sure yet. And I'm going to have to take out the 3080 to get to the pump power wire. I wish that was a little longer. Stay tuned, guys. All right, guys. Here's the CPU. Future note to self. Maybe not so much thermal paste. Although I got pretty good results, but I think I could slow down on the amount of thermal paste I put on there. But everything did seem to work. We live and learn. Now the only problem is I have to unwire the pump now. So I designed it to pull the system out, but apparently I didn't wire it right to pull the system out. But we'll see how hard it is to get to it. So, all right, guys, getting there. All right, I've got all the liquid parts out of the case at this point. So everything is, yeah, no chance of getting any liquids in. As long as I can keep all this tray hoses out of the box, we'll be good to go. So now the trick is going to be to clean each part. I've read different things online. I'm, kind of learning as I go. But I believe I do not want to just run everything through the radiator because I think it's going to get stuck in there. So I think I'm going to disconnect the radiator and close the loop without this radiator and disconnect all the excessive hose that I have in here. And pretty much keep the loop pretty small and try to flush the CPU as much as possible before I take it apart, and then change out the hoses and then try to attempt to flush that again through this process. So this is going to probably take me a while, guys, to keep kind of cleaning all these, but I will update you as I keep going. It's getting dark on me out here, but I've as you can tell, have the system apart, took out the rad, and just have the pump and the CPU cooler going. And I'm just running a mixture of about 50% just white distilled vinegar and water. I've read different things online, run it overnight, run it for a couple days. But I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to run it for about an hour or so. I'm just trying to loosen up the junk that's really in that head is my main goal, and loosen up the junk that's in the pump. I don't really want to clean these hoses because I'm going to be replacing them. So I don't want to kind of get all what's in the hoses into the pump and into the head. And I'm afraid if I let it sit too long, that's going to be the case. So I'm just trying to really do a good flushing at this time, then try to really reclog that guy up. So the plan is, as of right now, is to run this, like I said, for about an hour. It's been going for about 15 minutes. And I will, at that point, drain it again and switch up to the new hoses. I'll cut all these hoses and put the new ones in. And then I'll proceed and let this run for a while. Although I am outside, so I'm probably going to have to move everything inside once I get it a bit more stable and where it can run overnight. And see what we can do about getting that head clean. All right. Well, it's been about an hour. It's rather impressive, guys. Sorry for the glare from the light and the dust, but you get the picture. It's pretty clean. I mean, there's still spots in there. There's still work needs to be done, but I think it's time to change the tubes and run it one more time for a while, and then just switch it out. Got to make sure to flush it really good, though, especially with copper. I'm not sure if there's any copper in this stuff or not, but still, make sure to flush it really good. Well, a lot of stuff is definitely gunked up in here over the years. I know why they say change your fluids regularly. It seemed pretty fine, like I said, for at least 2 years, maybe even 2.5 years. And then, I noticed a slight tent coming to it, and it just went fast, especially when it stopped being super hot from mining. When it was just more sitting idle. It didn't take but 60 days, and it's caked. So this came out of the CPU, which is now just kind of soaking. Even the rings, you can see, are caked. They all have to be cleaned. Making me question if I want to use the same fluid in there or not, but hey, we'll figure that out as we go. This is taking much longer than I hoped for, but it's getting done. It's time to flush the radiator, guys. So I went ahead and just hooked up the radiator real quick, running the pump, using a box, and unfortunately I had some drizzles here. I've got about a 40% chance of rain coming in the next hour, so I'm running out of time really quickly. But it's green again. So hopefully we'll get this flushed out and cycle this through and be able to start putting this guy back together. This is definitely taking much longer than I thought it was going to take, but hey, I got it back together. Not all the way. I just still need to do the CPU. So that thing is pretty gunked up, and I'm going to have to go kind of pick at it, play, and I may let that thing soak overnight. But everything else is put back into place. The pump, the reservoir, and the tubes. So hopefully everything's all good, and it's time to go. After a whole bunch of cleaning and scrubbing, it's pretty much clean. There's still some small spots, but it'll be fine. I have no intention of overclocking it and pumping 800 watts through it again like I did before. So it's much more power efficient not to, so that's why I'm not. But you can really definitely pump out the hash if necessary. Yeah, you guys can see all of the green, nasty stuff that came out of there, but apparently it turns corrosive at some point and starts eating away something, probably your copper inside of the radiator. But let's keep putting this together and move on. But before we do that, there's something very crucial. During the process of cleaning this, and we take a close look at this as I move it in the light, you can see that there's two different colored darknesses around the outside of this, and that is because water has gotten trapped. Use an air can, just a simple duster, air can, something like this, to blow out the air between there before you attempt to install this back to your computer. There's plenty of water in there, and it's enough to zap your PC, so be extra careful. All right, guys. The moment of truth. The most stressful point of the whole build. Leak test. Does it leak? Fortunately, nope, it does not. It's been running for a little over an hour now, and I've had no problems. So, woohoo! It's time to turn this bad boy on and hope I set that processor right and don't have any problems. Otherwise, I'll be playing with that and reseating it. These Threadrippers are finicky little guys, but we'll get it back up and running. But I hope you guys learned something. I hope this was a fun adventure, and I appreciate you guys hanging out. And remember to like and subscribe, and Verus mine on, guys. Talk to you later. See you in the next video.